Well, it looks like we have all of our contestants. Could we get the judges to turn their cameras on? And Dan, I'm going to let you take over. I do not, is Gabby in here? Yes, awesome. All right.
All right, so we got our 6 competitors here. So thank you guys. Congratulations for making it to this point. Very exciting. So if we could get all of our competitors on screen, please get started. All right. Terrific. All right, so what we're going to do is first, if I could get all 6 competitors to hold up their persuasive speech cards to the camera. I'm sure you've done this a couple times today, and flip if there's anything on the back. All right, that's looking good. Thank you, guys. So I think what we'll do is if we have an even number of pro and con folks, this would make things kind of easy, but if not, we'll have to kind of adapt here. All right, so let's go around. I'm trying to see. Alex, I know you're on pro. Prajun, which side have you prepared?
I prepared for the con.
Okay, so Prajun is on con. That's 1 and 1. All right. Anya, how about you?
I'm on the pro side.
2 pro. All right. So and Ria, are you pro as well?
Yeah.
So 3 pro. All right. Nyla, what about you?
Pro.
Pro. And then Hishang. Am I saying that right? All right. So we have 5 pro and 1 con. All right. So that's okay. We'll just kind of go around here. If that was even, then we could make that work, but that's all right. So how this is going to work is I have the ballot pulled up, and I'll kind of announce as we go along the speaking order. All right, so you guys know how this works. You'll present your persuasive one at a time, and then you'll be cross-examined, and then the person doing the cross-examining will then be the next person to speak, and that way we'll kind of make a big loop. All right, so on my ballot, I have Alex. You're going to go first. Okay, and you're going to be cross-examined by Prajun. All right, so Alex first, Prajun will cross-examine. All right, and you guys know the deal. Make sure that, of course, this is the best presentation of the day so far. Make sure you're positioned in a way that we can see as much of your upper body as possible, so that way we get the the nonverbal communication, body language, etc., coming across here. Just make sure you're muted when you're not speaking or cross-examining. We can avoid any external noise from filtering in. But yeah, and you guys can, of course, run clock on your end if you would like. I'll also be running a timer for you guys as well. All right, so without any further ado, we can get this going, unless there are any questions before we start. All right, and Alex, you're going to kick us off, and Prajun, you will be cross-examining when he is done. All right, so good luck to all. And Alex, when you're ready, take it away.
And just to check, you can hear me, right? Because don't want. Can you hear me or? Yeah. All right.
Yep, we're good to go. We're good to go.
All right, let me get a stopwatch. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Currently around the world, there are 4.76 billion active social media users worldwide. This amounts to over half of the world's population. These platforms are owned by different companies in different countries, meaning that social media distribution is truly international. Because of this, social media is ingrained and pervasive in the lives of many people. While some may worry about the impact of this, the widespread reach of foreign social media, access to international social media outweighs these concerns because it preserves freedom of speech, promotes economic opportunities, and also increases cultural exchange. Firstly, is the point that social media, especially international, preserves freedom of expression. Access to international social media ensures that individuals get a platform to suppress otherwise controversial or suppressed ideas. In countries with limited social media and freedom of speech, with limited freedom of speech, social media platforms have become the tool for political and social activism. Over the past decade, according to Freedom House, internet freedom has declined in more than half of the countries around the world. Individuals can use social media to circumvent the censorship and surveillance that limit access to these informations, which can suppress free speech and dissenting views. With social media, studies have shown that it plays a significant role in empowering marginalized communities and amplifying their voices. In many cases, social media has provided a platform for people to speak out against injustice and to hold those in power accountable. For example, in the 2011 Arab Spring protests, social media played a vital role in organizing and mobilizing people to demand political change. But when social media is censored, this can have a chilling effect on the freedom of speech and the growth of democracy, and overall the protection of human rights. Secondly is the point that international social media access increases economic opportunities. By allowing access to international social media, individuals and businesses get an efficient and effective method to expand their reach. Social media has become a powerful tool for businesses to expand their reach and to promote their products and services. By allowing access to foreign social media, businesses can expand their reach and tap into new markets. In fact, according to a report by eMarketer, global social media advertising spending reached $102 billion in 2021, up from $58 billion in 2016. This increase in spending indicates that businesses are recognizing the potential of social media to drive growth, especially economics. Social media can also provide valuable insights into consumer behavior and preferences. By allowing businesses to monitor foreign social media, businesses get a better understanding of what their customers want. This leads to more efficient production, reduced waste, and increased profits. In addition, social media can be a powerful tool for smaller businesses to compete with larger, more established companies. International social media provides a platform for people and businesses to expand their reach and to increase their revenue, leading to satisfaction all around. Lastly is the point that international social media promotes cultural exchange. By allowing access to foreign social media, users get insight and exposure into different cultures and events internationally. Social media platforms such as TikTok provide users with an opportunity to connect with different people from around the world. This helps to broaden one's understanding of the world and to promote cultural exchange. According to a study conducted by the Pew Research Center, 73% of TikTok users report that they use the platform to connect with family and friends from different countries. Furthermore, 57% of users, as reported by Babbel, a language learning app, report that they use social media to learn a language. Access to international social media has a positive impact on society by promoting cultural exchange through language and increased empathy. Allowing access to international social media platforms as such outweighs any concerns that arise from foreign ownership. Thank you.
All right, good. All right, so Prajun, you're gonna do your cross-ex. 2 minutes from the start of your first question.
Okay, so coming to your first contention about freedom of speech. So the use of social media, couldn't that
Hold
also
on,
be
hold
a-
on. I'm sorry. I'm out. Alex, can you mute yourself? We're getting some feedback. So Alex, what you're gonna do is when he finishes asking his question, just unmute yourself and answer. We'll go back and forth there. That way we can avoid the echo. All right. So Prajun, when you're ready, you can start your first question.
Okay, coming to your first contention about the freedom of speech, and you talked about the use of foreign social media. Couldn't that also be done in like native social medias, for example, maybe Facebook or Twitter?
Of course it can be done, but the key is that international social media has a more profound impact when used for the same purpose. And this is because it's international, especially when governments decide to censor domestic social media. Foreign social media can be the appropriate outlet because it is owned by another company or another country. This means that they are more resilient to the censorship, and thus foreign social media is, can I finish my answer? Foreign social media is more effective in that manner.
Okay. So with that too, millions of people use Twitter or Facebook. So isn't that relative?
Can you clarify your question? What are you trying to ask of me?
Couldn't the same point be done with Twitter, or maybe Facebook with the work of millions of people using responsive.
Of course, within a country it can be. And say a country such as the United States, there are many social movements such as the Black Lives Matter movement. However, reiterating my previous point, for example, the example that I brought up in my opening speech, the Arab Spring protests, these protests took place across wide regions across the Middle East. And international social media, most specifically, because it's international, it goes across different countries and borders, and it connects different people into these movements. That is why it is more influential than domestic social media, because domestic social media is really limited to the country that it is hosted in.
Okay. So coming to your third contention about discrimination, cultural benefits, wouldn't this also come the other way around with discrimination with cultures?
What do you mean by discrimination with cultures? Could you be more specific?
That's time. Sorry. All right. So Prajun, you're going to deliver your persuasive, and then next up will be Shang to cross-examine. All right, so Prajun, 4 minutes from the start when you're ready.
Okay, Judge, my time starts now. In our 2017 elections, we had a new president and everything was going really, really well. But was our elections impacted by an outside source? Something that we always used, foreign social media. Judge, I negate the resolution and I state that having international social media doesn't outweigh the concerns of foreign ownership. My two contentions are that it hurts our national security and also decreases our personal privacy. This comes to my first contention, Judge, that it hurts our national security. Foreign social media, as you guessed it, is owned by a foreign country and foreign company. And this can be hazardous when used in the wrong way, as they don't have the same legislation and constitution as the United States. According to Paul Bishop, more than 50 plus countries control their social media. And that also means controlling of private accounts. And as shown with TikTok, they've been spying on other countries and even monitoring their users. And as shown with Bangladesh, China, Egypt, Indonesia, Iran, many countries do this and they monitor their users. But what does this mean and how does this really impact us? Well, according to the Council of Foreign Ownership, the CFO, social media has affected our 2017 US elections. With the use of Russia's Face app and Chinese TikTok, it was shown that Russia had created campaigns against our viewpoints of democracy and what we speak of, and China had provoked and made second thinking about the elections. Judge, we can't have two other countries tell how we run our country, our elections, what we do. And that's a big national risk that we cannot take. This comes to my second contention, Judge, that it decreases our personal privacy. There has been recent information on TikTok spying on journalists, stealing their information. According to VPN Overview, in 2021, ByteDance got more than 20 plus lawsuits, adding up to more than $96 million worth of money, and stealing their user data, IP addresses, where they live, what they do, their opinions, and sending all that information to bigger companies. According to ABC News, ByteDance would have to turn in information if requested by the Chinese government, meaning the Chinese government has all this power in taking this information, and there is no limits and no legalities against this work. So big companies stealing our data, our IP addresses, what we do is a big personal privacy infringement that we cannot have. In conclusion, Judge, my two contentions is that it hurts our national security and decreases our personal privacy. Judge, we have our own social medias, for example, Facebook, and we're suffering with it, with the points of bots and targetism. We can't have, and now we're thinking of planning on moving them to foreign social medias, and it's hurting us even more. This is why, Judge, I urge you to vote for Khan. Thank you.
Good. So Shang, 2-minute cross-ex from the start of your first question.
All right. In your introduction, you referred to the 2017 elections for us. can I ask what the specific impact of international social media that it has? Because you mentioned Russia, but you mentioned their Face app, but that could very well also happen on our own national social media. Can you explain like why international social media specifically was the cause of Russia's campaign against our democracy in 2017?
Well, yes. So, for example, as I was stating, it was due to, well, there could be also different various points where it could be Facebook too, but the majority comes from these foreign social medias, as I stated, FaceApp and TikTok, as they created campaigns against our democracy and our viewpoints.
So specifically FaceApp and what's the other one you mentioned? Sorry.
TikTok.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have any evidence that states international social media, like specifically what you just said, has national security risk? But what about national social media like Facebook and Instagram? Are you aware that those social media platforms also have national security risks? Like not specifically international? Sorry, that was a long question.
So about that point, I'm arguing that the use of international social media doesn't outweigh the concerns of foreign ownership. So I'm talking about the use of foreign ownership, and I have no control over national security social medias.
How would you address concerns that restricting foreign-owned social media could limit the user's access to diverse and non-censored information?
Can you repeat that point?
How would you address concerns that restricting foreign-owned social media could limit users' access to non-censored and diverse information and news?
So are you trying to state that?
That's time.
Yeah.
All right. So Shang, you're up next, and then you will be cross-examined by Nyla.
Okay. My time starts now. Judge, did you know that 55% of United States adults use social media to get their news, and that this number is even higher in other countries around the world? Judge, I'm here today to affirm the resolution that access to international social media far outweighs the concerns of foreign ownership because of three main reasons. One is that it promotes global communication and helps increase access to information around the world. Secondly, it improves innovation in our countries and promotes economic growth. Thirdly, it reduces the false and harmful information that can be found online. My first claim is that it promotes global communications and increases access to information. Just like I said in my introduction, 55% of United States adults use social media to get their news, and that this number is higher elsewhere in the world. Why is this important, you might ask? It's because social media allows for cross-cultural communications, which means communications across borders without physical restrictions. Social media fosters a global sense of community around the world, which can help tie us together even if we're not physically close to one another. The International Center of Journalists found that 75% of journalists use social media for research purposes, while another 62 use it to find sources and to find communication to interviewees. Not only does social media provide a safe platform for communication for citizens, it also provides one for journalists. This promotes transparency and accountability within our governance and increases international awareness to global issues such as climate change. The impact here, Judge, is for greater understanding between citizens around the world. This can help us solve issues faster and more maturely and more effectively. My second claim is that it improves innovation and promotes economic growth. The World Intellectual Property Organization found that foreign investments in companies brings in innovation, and it also boosts intellectual property creation. It also helps diversify the patents found. Now, companies with global reach like Google and Facebook and Apple tend to be more innovative and more competitive than other companies. The National Bureau of Economical Research found that it's because of foreign investments that there's a higher productivity within these companies. When foreign companies invest in social media, they bring in new ideas and techniques and opportunities to our own countries. This can create jobs and contribute to the overall economy of our countries. Judge, the impact here is that it encourages market diversity for our country, and it benefits the economy overall as well as the global economy. Thirdly, and last, for my last claim is that social media reduces false and harmful information. Social media often faces wide criticism of its handledness of harmful information. Foreign-owned social media can bring in new regulations and help within the effectiveness of combating fake news on social media. An improved content moderation will be better for social media in general because it will bring in a better quality of information that can be found. It will reduce the amount of misinformation that can be spread, and it will create a better environment overall for users. Not only does social media take away harmful information online, it also promotes user privacy and also promotes free speech. Because social media faces international regulations and not country-specific regulations, it will promote a diverse and decentralized media landscape, which will reduce the monopolistic practices that can stifle innovation and free speech. The impact here is for a healthier online environment in general, which will benefit users and society as a whole. Judge, as social media evolves, we will continue to need social media as an essential part of our lives, and we must ensure that it operates fairly and responsibly, regardless of the country of origin. I urge you to vote pro. Thank you. And I stand for cross-examination.
All right, good. And Nyla, 2 minutes when you're ready.
Okay. So you said that the international social media also encourages market diversity. Could you explain that?
Market diversity, because can't think of the year off the top of my head, but when Facebook acquired WhatsApp in, I believe to be 2017, it created a bunch of new opportunities for Facebook in general. And along with that is an example of Tencent, which happened in 2014, I believe, is basically it creates new opportunities within our own markets, and it creates a competitiveness and helps increase innovation in general.
Okay, and on the topic of innovation, what were the companies you listed that used this innovative international social media to prove innovation?
The companies I used as an example?
Yeah.
Google and Facebook, and I believe also Apple.
Okay. And in one of your contentions, you also mentioned that international social media allowed for less information to be spread, but doesn't international social media also allow for more misinformation to be spread because it's from citizens instead of sources?
Sorry, what was that last part?
So doesn't international social media allow for more misinformation to be spread because it's from citizens instead of reliable sources?
Social media in general international social media is going to be better to prevent misinformation because of the regulations that's going to be put on it because of international rules and whatnot. This is better in general and it doesn't increase the amount of misinformation because because just like I said, international regulations and not just national laws.
And are these regulations in place today?
Yes, but yeah, I cannot list specific regulations now, but yes, they are in place today.
Time.
Okay, thank you.
Good. All right. So Nyla, you're up next, and then Anya, you will be cross-examining.
Benjamin Franklin once said that those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Put in context, it is not viable to give up freedom in order to purchase a little temporary safety over the concerns of national security. Access to international social media prevails against concerns of foreign ownership. My first reason is freedom of expression. Freedom of expression allows US citizens to criticize the government, expose the truth, and speak without fear of persecution. If and when the government takes away international social media, they will be exerting control over US citizens across the nation. Banning international social media can be compared to Hitler's censorship of foreign media. He banned and burned texts that had anti-Nazi propaganda, He controlled what students learned in schools and even controlled what soldiers wrote home. He exerted control over the entirety of Germany and caused the wrongful hate and persecution of Jews. In banning international social media, we would start exerting the same level of control over foreign media consumption. Senator Rand Paul agreed that banning international social media mimics the censorship of the Chinese government. He has even gone so far as to go against his own party on this topic. By banning international social media, we'd be violating the Constitution, straying from the democratic way, and infringing upon U.S. citizens' unalienable rights. My second reason is that international social media platforms promote the expression of fundamental human rights across the globe. One current example is the women's revolt in Iran, where a 26-year-old protester, Nega Agad Sudan, was shot and was bleeding to death by security forces. This was spread and this scene was shared and reposted over multiple platforms and has reached so far as to the US, where former President Barack Obama stated that it was heartbreaking to watch and that it was a necessity to make sure the Iranian women knew they were being seen and heard. The suppression of international social media will also lead to the suppression of social change across the globe. My final reason is global advertisement. Put simply, ad revenue is equal to sales, is equal to workers and funding for the public. One specific example is Nike, which is endorsed by athletes, celebrities, and several organizations across the globe, which use international social media to advertise. Using international social media, Nike has skyrocketed in revenues from 2009 to 2022 from $2.18 billion in sales to $18.73 billion. The revenue generates and offers employment to people all over the nation, and the heavy taxing by the government on the revenue and sales funds public works, services, and even our line of defense. In conclusion, the freedom of expression, our social change, and global advertisement are the reasons we cannot ban international social media. Judge, I encourage you to go pro. Thank you.
All right, Anya, cross this when you're ready.
Okay, are you open for cross?
Yes.
Okay, let me just set my 2-minute timer here. 2 minutes on the clock, starting in 3, 2, 1. Your first argument was on freedom of expression, correct?
Yes.
Would the First Amendment protect a person if their posts are a form of violence or unlawful conduct?
It does not, because these social media platforms are controlled by the companies themselves instead of by the government, but they would be filtered.
But is that filter always 100% accurate?
No, it is not, but the companies are continuing to strive for accuracy, and it'll only improve as time goes on.
You said that international social media improves marketing for companies, correct?
Yes.
But so what are some of these in social media companies that, for example, Nike uses?
Well, Nike has over 300 accounts spread over platforms ranging from domestic media to international social media. So this includes TikTok, Instagram, and several others.
Okay. What are some of the security measures that international social media has that makes sure that all the content stays true and is not misinformation?
Well, there's a lot of filters they go through and encryption and databases that has to go through, but I'm not completely sure the exact terms and things, but I know that there are several measures they take and are still regulating now.
Do you have an exact number, or sorry, do you have some evidence that shows people not risking having an identity theft, like people being protected from identity theft?
I do not have examples right now. No.
Okay. Also, what was your second argument again?
My second argument was that international social media platforms promote the expression of fundamental human rights.
Okay.
All
got it.
right, that's time. Good.
Thank you.
All right, Anya, your speech, and then Ria, you will cross-examine.
Okay. Is everyone ready? Okay. 4 minutes on the clock, starting in 3, 2, 1. Social media is a powerful tool of communication. People can express themselves in various ways, and this can bring change to our world. Some of the leading examples have been Arab Spring and Black Lives Matter. International social media was a key role in making sure people are heard, and so that our environment and our society can change for the better. Judge, I affirm the resolution that access to international social media outweighs concerns of foreign ownership because it enables freedom of speech and allows people to display their cultures and minorities, which outweighs concerns of foreign ownership. My first argument is that international social media enables freedom of speech. Social media platforms give a stage to perform freedom of speech, and international social media plays a key role in making sure that people can use freedom of speech to meet new people and exchange and connect information. This brings a sense of solidarity, knowing that people can express themselves without any interference. Because freedom of speech is expressed on international social media, it reinforces all other human rights, allowing society to develop and progress. According to Rachel Jolly, the editor of Index on Censorship, speech brought change. It helped change multiple things throughout the world's history. Judges, I want you to think about a time from the past when women were not allowed to vote in the US, or the working conditions in mine were so bad that people died because of that. Free speech was important as it helped change those things. If we use free speech in international social media, this creates a better world for all, which is why international social media is important, because it enables freedom of speech without cultural or political pressure. Instead, it is led in a safe and supportive environment. My second argument is that international social media displays many various cultures. The world has diverse cultures, ranging from Russian cultures to Indian cultures. And international social media allows people to understand each other and connect with each other and share their different ways of living life. This helps advance society without cultural pressure. And by doing this, diversity and inclusion are promoted and celebrated. Inclusion in terms of Black Lives Matter. People wanted to include many different racially diverse backgrounds to make sure people stand as one. And unity is common in international social media. And inclusion in Arab Spring, when people wanted to fight for what they wanted and wanted the government to become a democratic form, not ruled by corrupt leaders. International social media brings people together by displaying people's diverse cultures, which is why it's extremely important that international social media is permitted. According to Zarin Denzel, the founder and CEO of Twenty, a Spanish tech company, international social media brings culture closer to people, which nurtures new forms of expression, which brings change. That's important to the world. Also, a study looking at the use within religious cultures, specifically the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, found that minority cultures can use international social media to enhance minority values and behaviors in ways not envisioned by mainstream social media use. A global movement of cultural processes and free speech is only there because of international social media. International social media enables freedom of speech and allows people to display their cultures, which outweighs the concerns of foreign ownership. Judges, if you want change in this world and want to make your society a better place, I strongly urge you to vote pro. Thank you.
All right, good. Ria, your cross-ex.
Three, two, one.
In your first argument, you talk about freedom of speech. Yeah,
Yeah.
aren't people free to speak whatever they want on national social media?
Yes, however, international social media, people tend to be heard. Arab Spring and Black Lives Matter used TikTok, well, for Black Lives Matter, and they used all these international social media apps because they were like the hot topics of that time. And international social media allows every nook and cranny of the world to hear what people have to say. So it's extremely important that international social media is permitted.
You also mentioned some movements like the women's suffrage. However, these occurred at a time when there wasn't even any social media. So can't movements and change be started without risky social media?
What I was trying to prove there is that free speech was important, and international social media gives a stage to perform freedom of speech. I understand that there was no social media at that time, but free speech has always been important throughout history, and those are big incidents in history where free speech was used. So if international social media was permitted and is continued to be permitted for the longest time, then we can make the world a better place.
And you mentioned how social media displays cultures, but
Yes.
aren't there ways to display culture such as arts and literature without risking your IP addresses being leaked or something on social media?
Well, IP addresses are used anywhere. When a website asks you to, if they're allowed to access your cookies, you're giving them your information wantedly so that you can access that website. And anyways, international social media is just a way so that people can see what others are doing. People can see that, oh, look, that she's trying out a new cuisine, and oh, he went to a really nice restaurant. Why don't I go there? This allows people to experience new things in their life. So international social media permits that. That's
Good.
time.
All right, time. All right, last but not least, Ria, and then Alex will cross-examine, and that will be it. All right, so go ahead, Ria, 4 minutes when you're ready.
3, 2, 1. In 2021, there were over 4.26 billion users on social media all over the world. And according to Statista, this number was projected to grow to about 6 billion in 2027. Social media usage keeps on increasing every single year. Access to international social media outweighs concerns of foreign ownership because of the right to free speech and the information social media spreads. My first argument is that free speech and expression is enabled with international social media. Many people around the world use social media every single day, and because it makes such a large portion of their daily lives, restricting access to it would be similar to restricting free speech. According to Pew Research Center, about 7 in 10 Americans use social media every single day, and in this time, they use social media to see things other people share or learn about new information or for entertainment purposes. And according to the World Economic Forum, people on average around the globe use social media for 2.5 hours every single day. Again, communicating with other people and learning new things. As the American Civil Rights Union says, social media lays out a foundation for people to feel better about themselves and realize their true potential as a member in society, because it allows everyone, not in just one area, but from all countries, to express their own thoughts and feelings. And in order to live in a just society, we need to be willing to hear out other people and sharing our own opinions. My second argument is that social media spreads culture and information. Social media is specifically designed for communication and learning the new information effectively. Social media has a wide user base and a diverse one, and social media also has an easy-to-use interface, which enable it to reach more people and be better for communication. According to Pew Research Center, 8 in 10 Americans find social media to be very effective, or at least somewhat effective,
for learning about new political issues or social issues. And social media has been extremely useful in past situations and incidents, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, when the world was suddenly quarantined and everyone was stuck at home. During this time, as the National Center for Biotechnology Information says, people relied even more on social media in order to gain access to important health information, in order to protect themselves and their loved ones. And all in all, social media, we learn a lot of information from it, and informed people make better decisions and lead change and reform. But even if not for change and reform, we at least need to know about issues that occur in our own world, because it's basic information. Access to international social media outweighs concerns of foreign ownership because of the right to free speech and the information social media spreads. Billions of people all around the world rely on social media as a way to communicate and learn new things. And by restricting its access, we would be severing connections of billions of people. So I strongly urge you to vote pro. Thank you.
All right, good. And Alex, cross-sec. So remember, Alex, since we're getting some echo, when you finish asking your question, just please mute yourself and then unmute when you ask your next one.
All right. You stated that social media is positive because it educates people, right? That's one of your points, correct?
Yes.
And you stated that people can learn many new things through social media, for example.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
But how do people make sure that the information that they're learning is correct?
Well, a lot of information on social media is accurate, but while some misinformation might get through,
Mute yourself, Alex.
fact check it. And social media is primarily for efficiency and getting information across faster.
But doesn't that totally negate the purpose of social media? If individuals have to fact check the information that they're getting because they're not sure of the accuracy, then social media's benefits are gone, correct?
No, because social media has a wide variety of benefits, as I've mentioned in my speech. They're very effective for communicating with many different kinds of people, not just people you know. And they do get accurate information across too.
Right. And do you have any statistics on misinformation versus correct information on social media?
I don't have any exact statistics like that, but I do know during there's a lot of information out there, like there are news accounts literally on social media. And people use social media a lot more often than checking news.
Okay, let's shift to another point. Social media is, for example, TikTok is primarily used by users of a younger demographic, correct? And even though you've stated that TikTok or any other international social media has positive benefits, studies have shown that social media, the prevalence of social media has reduced attention spans. How can these be beneficial for the younger generation if their attention spans are being reduced?
Sorry. That's time. It's after 2 minutes. All right. So that is everybody, correct? Everyone has spoken and cross-examined and answered cross-ex, and I think we are done. So very nice job. We'll clap for all of our competitors. Thought that was great. All right, so we're gonna tally up our ballots, and then I think Coach Terry will announce our winners. All right. So
Yes, we're gonna have the awards in here in just a few minutes, so if everybody just be patient and hang out, the judges will get their ballots in, and then we'll be able to make those awards. Congratulations, everybody, and we'll be right back with you in just a few minutes. Hang tight. Well, as promised, we are back and ready to announce our results. First of all, congratulations on making it to the finals at our Q4 tournament number 1. We're very excited that everybody was able to participate. I want to thank the debaters for their hard work in preparing for today's tournament. The parents for, in some cases, rearranging schedules so that you guys would be able to compete. Our hardworking coaches, Dan Austin, Gabby Groover, and Chris Ahern, and Nicole Sandoval are our coaching staff for this quarter, helping students get prepared for this through classes and weekend workshops, and we appreciate you so much. And of course, the amazing group of people who help out with running this tournament, our tab room staff, Felipe Gazio, our tech wizard extraordinaire, Rachel Christoph, who is absolutely amazing, and Brian Fish, our Capital Debate president, who does everything and is just amazing to work with. I can't say enough good things about those people. So we really appreciate all of you. Round of applause for everybody before we get started. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what was different about this tournament. So we did this last quarter and we've done it again this quarter, where we're just presenting the opening speech to focus on those delivery and presentation skills, being a persuasive, compelling speaker. And we've added cross-examination to have a little more depth and difficulty to the tournament. And we're going to announce those awards now. We have 6 students who had advanced to final rounds, and I'm going to start by announcing 6th place. Are we ready, Felipe? Awesome. All right. 6th place goes to Ria Yarlagata. Congratulations, Ria. Our 5th place winner, Prajun Nibagata. Prajun, congratulations. Our 4th place winner, Yuseng Hung. Congratulations, sir. Well done. Our 3rd place winner, Nila Kamara, congratulations. Our 2nd place winner, Alex Lee, well done, sir. Good job. And your tournament champion for our Q4 tournament number 1 is Anya Pathick. Congratulations, Anya. Awesome job. Well done. Well done indeed. Great job, everybody. Thank you so much for your participation. As you have noticed, in this tournament, we did things a little bit differently, where everybody was entered into the tournament and you had to opt out if you were not going to be participating. We'll be doing the same thing for tournament number 2. Everybody will be entered in the tournament, and your parents will need to fill out the form to opt out if you have some sort of scheduling conflict. Thank you so much to everybody for your hard work today and in preparing for today, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Great job, kids.